The charge brought against John Brown was one of murder and of jealousy. He allegedly strangled his wife to death because she had spent time at a neighbor's house and he did not like she should go there. Despite this motive, he was acquitted without much of a trial. This shows an interesting part of the 18th century legal system, as it demonstrates that defendants could be acquitted very quickly if the charge brought against them could not be brought farther home. Thomas Page, who knew Jane Brown well, reports the prisoner being, or pretending to be, hurt when they found the body of his wife. "I said, 'Oh, Mr. Brown, it is a shocking affair.' 'Oh,' says he, 'it is indeed.' This is perhaps one reason that the charge could not be brought further to home. The prisoner behaved as though he did not know his wife was dead, and he was upset. And indeed he might have been. It was impossible to know either way. Thomas Davis, the man who Brown accused of setting his wife out of doors and therefore being complicit in her death, reports how Mrs. Brown was as merry and as cheerful as ever I saw her when she went from my house, and that he could not tell how the prisoner and the deceased lived together. This recurring ambiguity makes it difficult to mount a case against Brown, as there is simply not enough evidence to proceed. Whereas in the other cases that will be looked at that rely on insufficient evidence to acquit the defendant, here instead of being insufficient in a narrowly defined parameter, it is genuinely insufficient. There is nobody who can put the prisoner and the deceased in the same place at the same time. Though Hannah Davis, the wife of Thomas Davis, reports the deceased coming to her house a few weeks prior to the murder, and she cried out murder, and brought some clothes and things to run away from her husband. However, this alone is not enough to implicate the defendant, and the court moves past it without much consideration. They then move swiftly on to Elizabeth McIntosh to ascertain more details of the case. After extensive questioning about the details of the night, how far is the churchyard style? I heard a third scream from this house, which was your way home. I cannot say how near I was to the yard. The court decides that there is not enough evidence to proceed and cancels a witness they were going to call. It was also seen as unnecessary for the prisoner to give a defense, and he was acquitted without further consideration. This shows that whereas the 18th century legal system could acquit defendants for trivial details, such as the evidence not fitting into a narrowly defined parameter, sometimes the acquittals follow a logical path that is not unrecognizable from the one seen today in contemporary society.